got the bumper back on. We got our LED lights in. The paint still has to dry more. It's glossier and blacker than I care for. I need to touch that up. Same with the rear, but it looks way better than chrome. But that is going to dull itself down over the next couple weeks, and it's going to start looking like the wheels, where it's got a little more silver, a little flatter color, less of a stark black. So right now what we're working on is getting rid of the chrome on the hood bulge and the chrome grille. Looks good, especially with that black bumper now. I really like it. It looks so good. I'm super happy. Just to remind you how bad it was, let's shut the hood. Oh, that looks awful with the chrome. So that's the next part to be replaced, is this hood bulge. And I already have it. I just need to get to work. Here is our hood bulge, the last final push to get rid of all the chrome. But we have one really exciting accessory for this hood bulge, and that came from Headlight Revolution. It is made by NSV. And it is a light bar that fits right inside that slot. I am super excited about this. So, what I'm gonna do right now is just take out this black fake grill, pull that out, and stick the light bar in it. There we go. Now that is cool. I wish it was one solid piece and it didn't have two separate ends, but I think it still looks great. I like how these are all sealed. That's really cool. I haven't seen that before. All filled in where the wire connections go. This is one of the most expensive light bars for the Tundra, but it's also, in my opinion, the cleanest looking and one of the best built, and just overall, it's a fantastic package. There it is. Looks pretty slick. I am tracing these wires back and thinking of which ones I can get rid of that I don't need. I don't need the swipe function, and I don't need the daytime running accent lights. So I want to just remove all those and simplify this harness. I'm really reluctant to cut into and T-tap any factory wires. Like, if you've ever owned a car with an aftermarket stereo that was installed 10 years ago, by now, the alarm probably doesn't work, and neither do half of the other electrical systems it tied into. So I really want to keep the factory wiring 100% factory. So what I'd like to do is I'm trying to trace all these wires and figure out what they do, so that all I have to do is push the button and they come on. I don't want it to have to look for headlights being on. I don't want it to look for high beams having to be on. I just want one button on. I don't want any other buttons. So let's see if I can figure out how to make it do that. Probably not, but I'm going to give it a try. Got a lot of wires here, and they're covered with this tape, so I have to take the tape off to see what's going where. Time has come to remove the last bit of chrome. Well, that was easier than I thought. Check this out. Now my hood, back in there, is where I'm going to fish my wires. They've done an amazing job with the coloring. The coloring of each wire matches the factory. It's labeled. The loom and the tape job, just really well done. I feel kind of bad that I'm pulling it apart and making it my own, but it's kind of what I do. I'm going to try an actual fishing pole. I don't have a tape fish. Let's try it from this side. Pretty flexible. Hey, check it out. There's my fishing pole. Now I can pull a string through there and get my wires out. Got my string on there, gonna pull it all through. And that is how you snap a fishing rod that we didn't have the other end to anyway. Well, it worked, even if I snapped the fishing rod. Like I said, this hasn't been used in 10 years and I don't have the other half to it. So it's now my official fish tape. Went from a fish pole to a fish tape. Pretty slick install. Have it come right up there to the light bar. I'm not sure where it's going to go here. I don't know if it's just supposed to run over there and get pinched, or if I drill a new hole in it like that went through. Kind of tempted to do that. But this is a nice little rain gutter that keeps the rain out. Maybe I can snake it around that. Yeah, I can snake it around that. Here we have the smaller harness, and I have disconnected all the wires going to the other two switches because I just want the one on off. That means yellow and green will not be plugged in or used here. They're just empty wires. Only things it's got left are positive and negative terminals. I've cut off the blue and orange. I need to experiment with those, but I don't think I need either of those for it to just turn on. I still have all of these wires, which yellow and green will not be plugged in. We're in good shape to at least install this so I can get it in there and drive around while I figure out the wiring. I'm not totally crazy about these just flopping around. I wish they'd just come wired together, or that there was less slack in them, because they're just kind of, when you go down a bumpy dirt road, they're just going to kind of flop around. Get those last 3 bolts in, but first let's make sure. I heard there might be a gap here due to the light bar being straight and the hood piece kind of needing to curve a little. I've read on the forums that if you loosen this bracket, maybe even remove it, and loosen that one, it'll help this kind of round the corner a little better. But even now, it's kind of a sharp corner. So I'm going to fiddle with that a little. It's good enough, but I'd love it to be perfect. That's why you spend the good money for a good light bar like this, so it looks totally factory without any weird bulges or anything like that. Pretty good. Still got that little gap right there. I don't know, it may have had that without the light bar too, but it looks good. No one's going to notice that but me. That side looks pretty good. I need to go find some other Tundras that don't have the light bar and look at them and see if they have this gap right here. Yeah, I wish that just stuck down just a little like that. That'd look a lot cleaner. Still, that front end looks amazing. Really happy with that. Now we're on the interior, getting ready to do all the wiring for the light bar. This NSV light bar comes with a really cool panel here with more switches than I'm showing here. And it goes down underneath your stock radio. But since I've upgraded my radio with a different one, this is not compatible. But fortunately, I have one extra spot here that I can put my switch. And that's one reason I want just one button on, but another reason is just because I like a simpler setup. I got these little yellow pry bar tools at Harbor Freight, and they're fantastic for interior trim pieces. All right. Now I can get access to my little switch panel in here. All right, I got my wiring through there, coming through here. Oh, beautiful. Clicks right in there. Flip that up. Turn it on. Turn it off. By far, the most difficult part was getting the wires through the rubber grommet. That was awful. It actually ended up pulling out the rubber grommet a little, and the ends are like right in there. And it's going to be really tricky to connect, to set the pins in there. So, if I could give NSV any advice on building this, it would be put the tap wires closer to that loom so then I could get another foot here and pull that all the way through, because that's really tough to do right now. Alright, wiring is complete. Couple things I don't love about this kit. First off is that the connector up there is so close to the firewall. That should have come up here another little bit. And the wires are really tight running right here too. I also don't love that this just kind of dangles here, and you hope that you don't pinch it when you close your hood. It wouldn't take much for it to just stay on that side and get squashed when you close your hood. So I don't love that there's not a great place for this to go. Maybe I can... but other than that, this is such a cool light bar. I've cut the yellow wire under the dash and the green wire under the dash since I won't be using strobe or DRL functions. And right now, it works, but only with the high beams on like it was meant to. I would like to disable that feature so it just works when it works, but check it out. I mean, it's daytime, but when I turn my high beams on, boom, there's the light bar, and that's all controlled with high beams. It makes sense why you'd want to do that, but I really just want a simple on-off switch. I trust myself to turn it on when it's appropriate and turn it off when it's appropriate. I don't like, I call them nanny features. I don't like extra features that like remove control from you so you can do things everything they want. I just want this as simple on and off. So I'm going to go to the forums and see if I can figure out how to do that. Overall, super impressed with this kit. It fits really well. I love how great that looks. That looks so good. It looks factory, like it came from Toyota that way. I love that it can't be stolen like some light bars. I had a buddy who had his light bar stolen. Some guy undid one of the brackets, didn't have time for the other, and just yanked it off. You cannot steal this unless you pop the hood and unbolt it and unclip it and all that. But at that point, I mean, anything could get stolen. So, super excited about this. What a clean look. What a transformation for that truck. Bumper came out great. New grille came out great. Hood bulge came out great. And to top it all off, that light bar. I've been holding off on getting a light bar on my last 4x4 vehicles because they all just look bolt on, actually. They just look kind of stuck there. And this doesn't. This looks 100% stock. And I love that. So if you want a light bar like this, go to Headlight Revolution. It's not cheap because it's got amazing waterproof wiring. It's way easier to wire and connect than I made it because I tried to customize it. It could go much smoother for you, and you would have extra functions like strobing, and when you lock and unlock, it would flash and do all that cool stuff. All I wanted was an on-off switch, so I made it a little tougher than I needed to. But man, go to Headlight Revolution and look these up if you're interested in more information on them. Such a cool light bar by NSV.